Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis and quoting Max Kaiser. The sooner everyone puts their net worth into Bitcoin, the sooner we'll have world peace. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin bull cycle outpaces historical patterns by 100 days. That's right. I'll be breaking down this latest report as well as breaking news. The Bank of America customers see $0 balances amid nationwide outage. That's right. Be careful keeping your money in the bank. We'll also be discussing Ripple CEO on the SEC appeal. He says, we'll fight in court for as long as we need. And they say this could be dragged into early 2026. We'll also be discussing North Carolina Bitcoiners set up a hurricane research and rescue operation. That's right. The Bitcoiners will focus on overlooked communities in Western North Carolina that have received little state or federal support and remain cut off from life-saving supplies. We'll also be discussing $100,000 Bitcoin price incoming, but it depends upon increasing demand and favorable seasonality. I'll be sharing this timeline and prediction from CryptoQuant. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. But yeah, welcome everyone just joining us. Without further ado, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes and go ahead and subscribe. It's free to do so. Then hit that bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1776. I'm your host, JV. It is October 3rd, 2024. Welcome to October, but thus far, first couple of days have been corrective. Currently, Bitcoin down $1,500 on the day. As you can see on your screen, I will be pulling up some of the live charts and all that stuff. But first, let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. As you can see here, we have Ethereum down 5%, trading back down at 2,300. We have Bitcoin down 2%, maintaining just above 60,700. XRP down 11% on the day. You probably can't see it on your screen, but it's trading at 52.2 cents as the majority of the alts are correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. Current crypto market cap sits at $2.1 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap is all the way down to $1.2 trillion. We have 95 billion worth of volume in the past 24 hours. And the Bitcoin dominance is on the climb. Wow. The highest in a minute, 57.1%. The Ether dominance, the lowest I've seen this in a long time, many years, 13.4%. That's probably a new low for Ethereum. Not looking so good over there. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, only a handful even in the green. Aptos up 6%, Flare up 3%, and the infamous Monero up less than 1%. The majority of the alts are correcting and in the red. Let me know which alt, if any, you're most bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. Unfortunately, sad to say, 90% of the market corrective and in the red. Zooming out on the monthly, it's a different story. I'd say 80-20, green over red. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index today, we're still in fear, 37. Yesterday, 42. Last week, 50 neutral. And last month, a 26 in fear. And checking down the time chain calendar, we got 186,022 blocks yet to go until Bitcoin halving 2028. We're currently on block number 863,978. As you know, approximately every 10 minutes we get a new block, and you can currently exchange $1 for 1,649 satoshis. So stack them sats. But anyways, fam, let's continue with the news. Let's discuss the latest Bitcoin TA. Astrology for the broskies. I'll also pull up some of the live charts for y'all. Headline reads, Bitcoin traders stress bullish market while Bitcoin price threatens $60,000. Bitcoin still has a bullish market structure after another retest of 60 support. Rec Capital dismissed fearful market sentiment over the current price action. In one of his latest updates, Rec said Bitcoin is no stranger to 60,000 as a fundamental psychological level, and returning to test it from above is no reason for cold feet. Bitcoin dropped by about 6% over the past 3 days, previously hitting 2-month highs just above 66,000 per data from TradingView. Here you're looking at the 1-hour chart, and like I said, I'll pull up the live charts when I'm done with this story. Bitcoin has revisited the low 60,000s countless times over the past several months, and yet people become equally fearful on a pullback, and for a different reason every time. Same price, different narrative, never a loss in bullish market structure. Rec Capital is not alone in this confident sentiment. Fellow trader Jelly said Bitcoin's undergoing a more substantial resistance support flip, a bit of a red to start the quarter, and everyone is still full on PTSD mode. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's market structure is bullish again, and we're turning key support resistance back into support. Don't get shaken out. Now, previously, there were shown various bearish Bitcoin price predictions calling for a drop of up to 10% or more below 60,000 should that give away. Entrepreneur and crypto enthusiast Mark Cullen joined that camp October 3rd, advising traders to prepare for a potential dip to 57,000. Quoting him here, "It's taken time, but Bitcoin still appears to be heading lower." Now, analyzing on-chain data, we have Checkmate, synonymous creator of Check on Chain, who viewed the recent price performance through the lens of profit-taking by Bitcoin speculators. This was conducted using the short-term hodler spend output profit ratio metric, which analyzes the proportion of funds and profit when moved on-chain by speculators. Such entities are those holding the funds involved for up to 155 days. This metric has dipped below its center one value, arguably setting up a viable by the dip opportunity. If Bitcoin short-term hodler and this metric is high, don't buy. It means folks are taking profit and applying sell side. Conversely, in a bull market, dips back to one or preferably the short, sharp undercuts of it are the opportunities to stack them cheapest sats. So there you go. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, the sooner everyone puts their net worth into Bitcoin, the sooner we'll have world peace. He makes a good point. Bitcoin perpetuates peace and love, while fiat currency perpetuates war, famine, violence, and all that stuff we don't want any more of. So that's why we need to stack the sats accordingly and get on a damn Bitcoin standard. It's time. But anyways, let's pull up some of the live charts. This is the 1 hour. I'll be sharing with you some of the live targets as well. This is live and in the flesh. As you can see on your screen, brought to you via TradingView via Coinbase. We do have a green target on the 1 hour sitting at 63,100, roughly 2,500 up from where we're at. And we do have a more bullish target. You can see the falling wedge pattern, but still bullish target sitting at $66,600, which is, a $6,000 climb from here. And of course, there's some bottom targets as well, but let's zoom out, check out the 4 hour. 4 hour chart shows you a blue bullish target all the way at 81,300. I'd say this target absolutely in play, very possible even this month of October, in my opinion, but let me know your thoughts. Let's zoom out from here. We'll check out the 1 day. 1 day chart shows, you can see we had a couple of very bearish daily closes. Let's see if we can recover back. We do have a bottom target sitting at 47,700. And zooming out on the weekly, we still have the sexy cup and handle pattern sitting at $124,200. And we'll zoom out a little further for the monthly. And again, we just entered October a couple of days ago. So far bearish, but we still got a long month ahead of us. Let's see if we can break out of this sideways trading range we have been stuck at for the past 7 or so months. Let's continue with some of the headlines. We did the live TA. Next up, let's discuss a little further this particular cycle. Bitcoin bull cycle outpaces historical patterns by 100 days. That's right. Ahead of its typical 4-year cycle, according to a new report by CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin is potentially on the way to breaking its traditional 4-year cycle, entering a super cycle. Now we're talking. CoinMarketCap stated in its third quarter market research report released today, October 3rd. According to the research report, multiple factors suggest Bitcoin's potential entrance into a super cycle driven by institutional adoption, Bitcoin ETF, and changing market dynamics. Bitcoin's 4-year cycle is an important concept reflecting the crypto's market dynamics. The cycle is closely tied to the Bitcoin halving events, which cut Bitcoin miner rewards roughly once every 4 years, or when 210,000 new blocks are mined. TikTok next block. Bitcoin halvings usually significantly impact the price of the Bitty, with the bull market historically peaking 518 to 546 days after the halving events. I mean, check it here. Bitcoin's 4-year cycle, we know we had our halving dating back to 2012, then 2016, 2020, and we had one just this year, April of this year. And according to CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin's price performance, coupled with the most recent halving, which occurred April 19th of 2024, at least here in the United States, suggests that a potential Bitcoin all-time high could occur significantly earlier than typically expected, estimating Bitcoin's current bull market progress at 40.66%. Wow, are they saying we can have that Bitcoin halving hypothetically in 2027 versus 2028? Quoting them here, this time Bitcoin is ahead by about 100 days. Oh, 100 days, that's 1/3 of a year, pointing to a potential peak between mid-May and mid-June 2025. Despite this early acceleration, there are signs of slowing infrastructure growth, which could indicate that the broader market dynamics are evolving. And amongst the factors that suggest the Biddy may be breaking its traditional 4-year cycle, CoinMarketCap mentioned Bitcoin's increasing correlation with traditional assets, such as gold and tech stocks, as well as the growing institutional adoption from companies like MicroStrategy and Semler Scientific. On October 2nd, Forbes published an article titled, "Why Bitcoin is Becoming a Part of Traditional Finance," another piece of evidence that Bitcoin is becoming increasingly adopted in the financial world. And in the report, CoinMarketCap also provided the list of the top 5 active sectors in the crypto industry, with meme coins and Ethereum leading the chart. Despite a rally at the end of the third quarter, 16 sectors still suffered at least 10% market cap losses in the third quarter, dropping up to 40%. And according to CoinMarketCap, the storage, the lending, and the privacy sectors of the industry were struggling the most, seeing losses of 39%, 37%, and 31%. Respectively, as outlined here, lending and borrowing down 36%, yield aggregator down 12%, storage down 39%, interoperability down 26%, privacy down 30%, and governance down 17%. Now, among other insights in the report, they also mentioned that the United States has continued to lead the global crypto user base with 17% market share. India, which ranked first in Chainalysis' crypto adoption index back in September, had become the second largest country for crypto users with a market share of more than 9%. Then Brazil, ranked third, had an 8% market share in terms of crypto users globally, which I believe is the largest country in South America. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would assume Brazil has a population probably north of, I'd say, 300 million. Additionally, CoinMarketCap report highlighted that Bitcoin was the most popular coin across all continents in Q3, with the market share varying from 45% in Africa to as high as 52% in Oceania. Well, there you go. Showing you the continents and adoption right here. North America, close to 50% share. Europe, 52. Asia, 51. South America, 51. Africa, 45. And Oceania, 52 as far as the most popular currencies by region in the third quarter of this year. Ether, as we know, the second largest market cap, and obviously, their dominance is all the way down to like 13.4%, as I pointed out earlier. I think that was the lowest we have seen it in years. Solana, the 5th largest crypto by market cap, soared in most popular coins globally with an average share of 14%. And Toncoin, the native cryptocurrency of Telegram, the open network, was also amongst the most popular cryptos in quarter 3, ranking third with 15% in Africa, according to CoinMarketCap. So there you have it, yo. But let's continue with the news, family. Next story, next headline. This was actually not surprising, but surprising at the same time. Bank of America customers see $0 balances amid nationwide outage. I tell y'all, only keep in the bank what you can afford to lose. And what's ironic is their CEO not too long ago came out and said, be careful with Bitcoin. You may find a zero balance. Talk about reaping what you sow, bro. That's crazy. But yeah, thousands of Bank of America customers reported a network outage. Let me know how many of you bank with BOA. That prevented them from accessing their bank account or displayed a zero balance. Wouldn't that freak you out? Like all your money's in the bank. Let's hypothetically say you live paycheck to paycheck. You got $5,000 in the bank. You're dependent upon that money to pay your rent or whatever, food, support the family. And then all of a sudden you log in and it says zero. Sorry. Crazy, right? Well, this is happening. Reports of service issues began at 4:26 p.m. yesterday and peaked an hour later with almost 18,000 Bank of America customers reporting issues within a 15-minute interval, according to data from the real-time network. And that's just what people reported. Keep that in mind. About 98% of the reports reference Bank of America's mobile and online banking apps. Bank of America hadn't issued a public statement addressing the issues. I wonder why, though it reportedly shared with CNN that the outages have largely been resolved. You think the least they can do is give you a public statement that everything's going to be okay, but they haven't. Later in a statement, they received at 1:01 a.m. The bank shared that the technology issues have been fully resolved. Several commenters on Down Detector indicated the issue hadn't been fixed for everyone. Everyone is saying it's fixed. It's not, a user named Corey wrote. And I feel his pain right now. Imagine them telling you, we fixed everyone's account, and then your account still reads 0. Still not fixed, been out at least 8 hours, another user, Buff Barnaby, added. Shout out Buff Barnaby, BB. Meanwhile, hundreds of Bank of America customers criticized the bank over the IT glitch. Some noted that while they had a 0 balance, their debt remained. Damn. My money is gone, but conveniently, my debt is still there. Interesting how that works with bankers. Bank of America sucks. I second that. I closed out my Bank of America accounts 15, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? I don't do business with the Rockefellers, if you feel what I'm saying. But the issues weren't confined to Bank of America's mobile app either, according to Kareem, who wrote, went to the branch and they are not allowing deposits or withdrawals. Damn. They're doing them dirty. Other customers reportedly said the ATMs would not show their account balances, but they could still withdraw the cash. And while most impacted Bank of America customers responded with anxiety or anger, others remain lighthearted amid the ordeal. You can see here everyone refreshing their bank accounts of Bank of America to see it's still 0, playing them slots. Crazy, right? That's what it seemed like. Some Bitcoiners pointed to Bank of America's failure to show why people should consider self-custodied funds, while others mentioned Bitcoin's impressive uptime record. You're only making Bitcoin even look more incredible, Bank of America, so thank you. Bitbo's Bitcoin uptime tracker showed Bitcoin hadn't suffered a network outage since March of 2013, when the network was still largely centralized. Still, the same cannot be said for the blockchains, Solana, Kanto, Zilliqa, Linea, who have experienced at least one halt this year. Other crypto exchanges like Bitforex and halted withdrawals after being hacked earlier this year. And in another incident, thousands of Americans were paid late November when the Fed's automated clearinghouse payment network business used to transfer the wages into employee bank accounts suffered a network outage. Google Finance data showed the IT glitch did not impact the Bank of America share price. Lucky them, which traded relatively flat yesterday. BAC share price also withstood $338 million worth of sell orders from Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway between September 30th and October 2nd, according to Bloomberg. Here's the latest with the XRP SEC ongoing saga. Ripple CEO on the SEC appeal says we'll fight in court for as long as we need. And ultimately, the SEC just submitted the appeal, I think, yesterday. Let's break it down. Ripple Labs CEO Brad Garlinghouse vowed to fight the U.S. SEC. I think Brad Garlinghouse and Gary Gensler should have a karate combat boxing fight or something. What do you guys think? I think that'd be fun to watch. I think I'd put my money on Garlinghouse. In court, after the regulator said it would appeal a district court decision on its case against the firm. Quoting them here, somehow they still haven't gotten the message. They lost on everything that matters, said Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO here of Ripple Labs. While we'll fight in court for as long as we need, let's be clear. XRP's status as a non-security is the law of the land today. And he does make a good point there. So the current ruling is in play. Unless the SEC wins the appeal, it's considered a non-security. Hypothetically, if the SEC did win the appeal, and let's hypothetically say it's over by the year 2026, they get a ruling, that can change everything, and then they can start delisting it again from the exchanges, and who really knows? You know what I mean? But that does not change even in the fact of this misguided and infuriating appeal. And let me read you what Garlinghouse wrote. If Gensler and the SEC were rational, they would have moved on from this case long ago. It certainly hadn't protected investors and instead has damaged the credibility and reputation of the SEC. Somehow, they still haven't gotten the message. They lost on everything that matters. Ripple, the crypto industry, and the rule of the law have already prevailed. While we'll fight in court for as long as we need, let's be clear. XRP's status as a non-security is the law of the land today. And that does not change, even in the face of this misguided and infuriating appeal. Remember, when the SEC tried unsuccessfully to file an interlocutory appeal, they made clear they had no intentions of challenging XRP's status as a non-security. Well, guess what? They lied. SEC lied. Gary Gensler does what he does best. Lie. Government does what they do best. Lie. Are you not surprised? Are you not entertained? And of course, Stuart Tori, I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, but wrote a long post regarding how disappointed he is as well. So in July of last year, the New York District Court Judge Torres ruled that the Ripple-linked XRP token was not a security when sold on public crypto exchanges, ending the SEC's 2020 lawsuit alleging the firm sold unregistered securities through XRP. Still, Torres gave the SEC a partial win, ruling that XRP sales to institutional investors should have been followed by security laws, or should have followed security laws. Well, you can say the same thing for Ethereum with the Ethereum Foundation. They didn't have to follow any security laws. Interesting how that works. She fined Ripple $125 million for its institutional XRP sales. Remember, initially, the SEC was seeking $1 billion, and then they got it down to $125 million. But last month, the SEC and Ripple agreed to stay the fine, as the SEC hinted at an appeal. Now, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stewart, wrote that the SEC's appeal was disappointing but not surprising, adding Ripple is evaluating whether to file for a cross appeal. The SEC's lawsuit has been irrational and misguided from the start, he wrote. We are ready to prove that yet again in the appellate court. Yeah, just another few years to destroy investors. I mean, the Second Circuit Appeals Court is unlikely to rule on the case for another nearly year and a half. I wonder why that takes so long. Probably all by design, according to lawyer and hodler law founder Fred Rispoli, who wrote here, a ruling will be handed down from the Second Circuit in January of 2026 at the earliest, or likely March or April. So you're not going to get any conclusion here until March or April, meaning here's the bigger picture. XRP may miss out on another bull run, just like it did previous cycle. Remember in 2020, they launched the lawsuit. By 2021, the entire crypto market went parabolic. You know what I mean? Bitcoin hit a new all-time high November 10th of 2021, 69 Gs. Obviously, we surpassed that earlier this year. Mid-March, we tapped a new price discovery at 73.8. However, Ripple's been stuck at around that 50-cent mark, it feels like, forever, like 6-7 years. Since 2017, how ironic. In 2017, XRP was the best performing top cryptocurrency in the market. Since then, it's been the worst performing. And you can thank your folks over at the SEC for that. Do you think they're helping investors with these lawsuits or destroying their dreams? You let me know your thoughts. I'll read those out loud. He said the SEC's brief and Ripple's brief it decides to cross appeal will likely be due to be filed next year, with responses to each due March 2025. He also added that the oral arguments would be slated for about this time next year, September or October 2025. XRP, as a result, has fallen roughly 11% in the past 24 hours. Obviously not good news for Ripple Labs or XRP holders, but there you go, yo. Our next story, this is actually probably the most important story. Yes, it is the most important story. And then we'll dive into our feature story, which is discussing 100,000 prediction, but this is why this story is most important. North Carolina Bitcoiners set up hurricane search and rescue operation. You guys have probably seen on social media, such as X, the disaster as a result of Hurricane Helene. A lot of people need help. Government isn't really doing much to help anyone. They're proposing to give people $750. What about the people trapped and it can't leave their house, have no electric, no water, and no food? They don't seem to have any help. So let's discuss this. And prayers going out to all the families affected by this disaster. So here we go. North Carolina's Bitcoin community, leave it up to the Bitcoiners, is prepping a convoy of emergency room physicians, volunteers, and retired military personnel to assist the state's mountain region following Hurricane Helene. The operation will start from the Greensboro region on October 4th, which is tomorrow. A 12-man team will be equipped with 6 trucks, multiple utility task vehicles, 4 trailers, 1 horse, and a mule. And according to the North Carolina Blockchain Association's head of the industry affairs, Dan Spuller, and in October 2nd post on X, the team will use chainsaws to clear paths and search for missing individuals. Already a lot of lost people and unalive people, family. This is no joke. It also brings medical supplies. The convoy was set up by North Carolina Blockchain Initiative Bitcoin Mining Museum and Bitcoin Mining and ASIC repair company HM Tech. Shout out to them. And Dennis Porter wrote here, huge. Bitcoiners and Bitcoin miners mobilized to assist those most impacted by the devastating Hurricane Helene. I mean, look at this disaster. Insanity. If you want to donate, I'm going to have this link in the description to this article, and you can just follow the links and make donations and so forth. If you can give anything to help the victims, Dennis Porter actually made the post. And again, in the show notes, in Rumble and on YouTube, I always put where the sources of the articles, news resources. You'll find this article if you want to help, and you can follow it, and you could give any way you can. The operation will focus on the western region of North Carolina, including the Appalachian Mountains, and will extend to Ashe County, one of the most severely impacted areas. The Bitcoiners plan to focus on overlooked communities with little to no state or federal support that remain cut from life-saving supplies. You know why this is sickening? How many billions of dollars are we sending to the Ukraine? That gay Zelensky dancer guy, that actor. How many billions of dollars have we given to other countries? For whatever the reasons are irrelevant. What about money to support our own citizens and our own country? How are we going to fix the problems in other countries when we can't even fix our own problems? Make any sense? Serious question. Let me know. Quoting them here. The challenges in Western North Carolina are immense, but the way the Bitcoin community has come together to deliver aid is inspiring. Reports indicate residents of the area are isolated without electricity. Bitcoiners are accepting donations in Bitcoin and fiat to support the mission. There you go. Look at this shit, yo. Quoting Mitchell, I graduated from App State back in 2022. It's heartbreaking to see my former home devastated by this hurricane. The lack of resources from the federal and state officials is forcing North Carolinians to take matters into their own hands. All I'm going to say is it's fucked up and nobody is helping them. Fucked up. No help. Sad. I've seen natural disasters, whether engineered or natural is irrelevant. People need help. This place I live in called Puerto Rico got devastated by, I think it was Maria, back in 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I wasn't living on the island yet. I came here a year later. And years after I've been living here, people still had no freaking electricity. Years after the disaster. So government is not really much of a help. So it saddens me to see so much money being sent overseas to criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. Hurricane Helene has taken at least 189 lives, damaged property in 7 U.S. states, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia, and New York. Or New York reported, my bad. The storm was rated a Category 4, how convenient, of a 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Winds reached 140 miles per hour, caused road closures, and, severe flooding. Look at that shit. The issue with the water is the water destroys everything. I even have a brother in Florida, and the hurricane did not even hit Florida. His house got flooded. That's how severe. So I can only imagine the impact in places where it actually made landfall. You know what I mean? The Carolinas and so forth. And of course, that death toll is only going to continue to climb. So sad, but we need help. So there you go. Yo. Now for our feature story of the day, $100,000 Bitcoin price in play, but it depends upon an increasing demand and favorable seasonality, according to the latest CryptoQuant analysts. Let's break this baby down. CryptoQuant analysts say Bitcoin's entering a period of positive seasonality, but an increase in demand is required for the price of the Biddy to reach that 6-figure milestone sometime here in Q4, which we're officially in. Welcome to October, family. Generally, Bitcoin has performed well in October when in a bull cycle, particularly in the halving year like 2024, and that period of positive seasonality is typically maintained throughout the fourth quarter of the year. It is a weekly report published October 2nd. Market intelligence firm explained that in the previous Bitcoin halving years of 2012, 2016, and 2020, Bitcoin price increased by 9%, 59%, and 171%, respectively. Quoting them here, Bitcoin's performance so far in 2024 has been similar to 2016 and 2020 up to September. CryptoQuant's bull bear market cycle indicator shows that Bitcoin remained in the bull, which is the orange area alongside this chart, phase between March and August. However, the graph also shows that the price has been trading in a bear phase for 3 weeks between August and September, and now enters the last quarter sealed between the bull and the bear phases, kind of like the calm before the storm. In comparison, Bitcoin entered Q4 in 2020 in a clear bull phase, making this year's entry into the last quarter relatively weak. The report also highlights that Bitcoin's apparent demand seems to have stopped declining, although it needs to grow faster to sustain higher prices in Q4. The chart also reveals that Bitcoin's apparent demand growth has stalled since July, oscillating between 23 and 69,000 Bitcoin on a monthly basis. In comparison, Bitcoin's apparent demand grew as much as 496,000 Bitcoin in April, when the price was hovering around 70,000. Quoting CryptoQuant here, it seems that demand has a lot of room to grow in Q4. Bitcoin apparent demand. And CryptoQuant analysts also say the institutional demand through the U.S. Bitcoin ETFs is key for further Bitcoin price growth. They note that these investment products shifted from net selling of 5,000 BTC to net buying of 7,000 BTC between September 2nd and the 30th. Quoting them again, if ETF demand continues to accelerate, it can have the effect of propel prices up in the last quarter of 2024. Well, let's propel those prices up, shall we? According to data from SoSo Value, spot Bitcoin ETFs saw 1.8 billion in net inflows between September 13th and the 30th, suggesting increased institutional demand for these investment products in anticipation of higher Bitcoin prices in Q4. And here you can see the total spot Bitcoin ETF net flow. And this has been unprecedented, breaking all records in ETF history. And the Bitcoin ETFs just went live January 11th. Earlier this year, already unprecedented numbers. I think BlackRock already did over 22 billion worth of volume and is now a larger holder than Bitcoin than MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy started accumulating back in 2020. Meanwhile, London-based asset manager CoinShares said the approval of options for certain US-based investment products likely boosted the sentiment, resulting in more than 1 billion worth of inflows into Bitcoin investment products between September 23rd and the 27th. And according to CryptoQuant, if demand continues to grow, Bitcoin can target between 85 and 100,000 by the end of December. Now, I've been calling for a six-figure Q4 for quite some time. I think we're long overdue. I mean, theoretically, I think we could have hit 100,000 back in 2021 if we didn't have people like Scam Bankman-Fried and the Terra Luna guy, all scamming the industry. But quoting again the report here, on-chain data valuation metrics suggest Bitcoin could be targeting 85 to 100,000 in Q4 in the context of recovering demand and positive seasonality. Let me know if you agree, disagree. I think this is a bear scenario, very probable. My personal prediction, I think this month of October, we're likely to re-enter price discovery surpassing 73.8. And I think sometime Q4, we even have the potential to knock on the 1 week chart target I shared earlier of 124,000 for the cup and handle on the weekly chart. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Meanwhile, market participants now turn their attention to the increasing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and how Bitcoin price reacts. They will also focus on the health of the U.S. job market and the Fed's future interest rate cuts in 2024, following the recent aggressive 50 basis point cut on September 18th. Also, China just had a rate cut similar to the United States. But there you have it, yo. Let me know your thoughts, predictions regarding where the price target will likely go for this month of October for a cycle peak for at least for this year. I shouldn't say cycle, but a yearly peak for 2024, and maybe a cycle peak as well for 2025 if you're in the camp alongside me that we most likely hit the cycle peak for the biddy sometime in 2025, because that's what history has shown us all the previous cycles. Holla at your boy, let me know, and welcome to the Q&A segment.